What's going on, guys? Mimic here with another video. This one we are going to be talking about my review about Staff Dagger, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, who Staff Dagger is actually for, like which type of players actually would enjoy playing Staff Dagger. I'll talk a little bit about what it plays like. I'll talk a little bit about where it's shining the most, like the best use of Staff and how to use the Staff Dagger combo. We'll talk a little bit quickly about the skills and passives, and at the very end of the video, I'm going to be giving you guys a final build guide. Now the build guide is going to be more like mid game. It's not going to have any tier 2 items or anything like that, but it is a solid build guide for you guys to work towards. Without further ado, let's jump in. So the review of Staff and Dagger, and guys, I'm just gonna do some contracts real quick while I'm talking, and you guys can just watch a little bit of the gameplay here. Now I am not optimized whatsoever, but I do have +9 weapon from the drop that you get from doing the dungeon, so I at least have that at a bare minimum. And then on my skills, which we'll talk about in a little bit, they're all purple and most are +3, +4. I even have some passives that are +5, so I'm relatively kind of end game with it. But what I like about Staff Dagger, what I don't like about it, for one, Staff Dagger is freaking so much fun to play in small scale. It's fun to play in large scale. It's exceptional in large scale battles, and it's really good if you position yourself correctly, because you can just sit there and you can just get big damage uncontested that just penetrates through enemy resistances, because not a lot of people build magic endurance and not a lot of people are building magic evasion, at least early on from what I'm seeing. What I don't like about it is that you are pretty squishy. I mean, I think end game you'd probably have somewhere less than maybe 13 to 14,000 health if you are going up to max health, and you're going to be pretty squishy. People that have swipe, that are very strong greatsword daggers, or even some bow dagger guys, they're going to combo you and it's going to hurt and you're gonna feel it. So I mean, just like with any class, high risk, high reward, the Staff Dagger is definitely an assassin type of class, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But it's very good in PvP. I mean, I am having more fun on Staff Dagger than I ever did on Greatsword Dagger, and that says a lot. And even a lot of my guild members are like, no way you like it more than Greatsword Dagger, and I actually do. So that is a surprise. I did not think that I would have as much fun in Staff Dagger as I did Greatsword Dagger, but I did, and I am having a lot of fun in it, and it's a great time. So if you're interested in trying out the Staff Dagger, maybe you're a little bored of your character that you're playing, give Staff Dagger a try and see if it is for you. Now, who's Staff Dagger is actually for? I would say it's anyone who is honestly just wants to try something new. If you tried maybe tank, if you tried maybe healing, if you tried bow, if you tried greatsword, and you just haven't tried the staff, give the staff a try and see if you like it. You may be surprised. The damage potential is insane. The kiting potential is insane. You have huge group play when it comes to you know, any kind of siege application or large scale PvP like a Riftstone or Boonstone. It is a lot of fun to play. Like, honestly guys, I'm so glad I started to play it, because it kind of like reinvigorated the game for me. I feel like I'm playing the game all over again, and I'm enjoying it again from the ground up. So for me, it's been a huge it's a good thing. It's a good opportunity for me to try the Staff Dagger. It was definitely needed. Greatsword Dagger for me was being a little stale. But you know, that's MMOs, right? You're gonna want to try new things. That's what's great about an MMO. You can try new things, try new builds, and see what ultimately, you know, you like the most, and that's what you should play. The thing you have the most fun on, okay? But it plays very much like an assassin. It's very much like Greatsword Dagger, because you do DPS from the outside, right? With your skills, your fire skills proc damage on them, and then you hit them with your lightning skill, and your lightning skill does a lot more damage on them as well. And the way it works is the skills in the staff, which I'll show right now, are very, very cool. If you haven't played Staff before, everything revolves around your fire. So your serial fire bombs, it says here, a fire skill that deals 150% of base damage plus 161 damage and inflicts weaken burning with an 80% chance to every enemy within a 3 meter radius from the target. So it's an AoE. You hit someone in a clump of 5 or 6 guys with this spell, it's going to spread to the other guys and put burning on them as well, which is nice. It says burning is applied to the targets. If the hit was critical, burning lasts 12 seconds and deals 3.7% of base damage plus 10 damage per stack per second. So it's a dot, which is also nice as well, and it stacks up to 10 times. Okay, it can be used to 3 times in a row. The casting time decreases and mana cost increases as the skill is used consecutively, and all fire skills weaken burning damage is equal to the serial fire bombs. And you can see there on the epic and rare, burning stacks +1 to the target on a critical hit, so they're going to get an additional burning stack if you crit on that. And on the epic is apply 2 stacks of burning to a target with a single attack. So it's pretty much going to double the burning stacks, right? This is your main bread and butter skill on Staff, and it actually uses a lot of your mana, so be careful with it because it is a mana burning type skill. You can see here 130 mana, and I think that's actually each cast. And you can do it 3 times. What you do after that is I follow up with Infernal Wave. This is a fire skill that deals damage equal to 340 of base damage plus an additional 140 to all enemies within a 3 meter range of the target. Deals bonus damage equal to 32% of base damage per stack to a target that you have burned, with a 70% chance to apply another weaken burning. Every time it hit becomes a heavy attack on a target that you have burned. 2 stacks of weaken burning are applied to all enemies within range. And you can see there on epic, bonus damage dealt by every stack of burning, 32% of base damage. So guys, the staff is all about getting these procs off. You want to hit them with this, then you want to hit them with the fire, then you want to hit them with your lightning. Okay, let's talk about the next skill. So the rotation is this bomb into the fire, into the lightning. This lightning, judgment lightning, a lightning skill that does 780 of base damage plus 261 when the target is wet or frosted by you, deals 520 plus 174 damage up to 5 enemies within 5 meters. So if you frost or if you wet the target, it turns into an AoE instead of just doing 1 damage to 1 guy. Okay, so that's really cool. The skill itself is dynamic, okay, based on how you want to play it. Now, if it's used on an enemy that's burned by you, the skill can be used again with a 2.5% chance for every 1 stack within 10 seconds. And when you land a heavy attack with this skill, it can be immediately used again. And when the second judgment lightning strikes a target as a heavy attack, it reduces the cooldown by 30%. This is the most broken single skill, I think, in the whole arsenal of the staff user. It's so good. I enjoy using it a lot. It does a lot of damage, and like I said, if you get a heavy attack with it, it's gonna reset, which is broken. That's 1400 plus damage, 1400% plus base damage that you're doing on target if it resets. Okay. So it's very, very good. The next, look at that, 5,000 damage there. The next attack we're going to talk about, let me kill this mob real quick and we'll get into it. The next attack we're going to talk about is that attack that I just used there, which is going to be your lightning skill. It's called chain lightning. This is kind of like a filler. It's very similar to predatory strike. It's one of those skills that comes up very quickly that you can kind of spam that does good damage. And it says a lightning skill that does 530 of base damage plus 195 damage, deals 4% increased damage per stack against a target to which you apply burning. Damage is transferred to other enemies within a 5 meter radius up to 3 times if the target is wet or frosted by you. Damage decreases by 20% every time it transfers, and it will not transfer to a target already affected. Cooldown decreases by 40% if you're wet. Okay, so when it's raining, you have more CDR on this chain lightning. And like I said, the chain lightning looks like this. I'm about to shoot it. Boom, it's just a bolt of lightning. Okay, But you know, it's very, very good. Like I said, it's very similar to the predatory strike on the dagger because it comes up very quickly. So that is that skill. Let's talk about the next skill here. Really good skill here is Frost Smoke Screen. It's an ice skill that creates a 4-meter wide zone that lasts for 5 seconds and teleports you 8 meters backwards. Applies weaken that decreases move speed by 40 for enemies in the zone, and you can use it up to 2 times. So what you can do with this is, let's say I go in, I'll just do it now. I'm gonna go in with Shadow Strike, I'm gonna land my damage, and then I'm gonna get out. Boom, boom, right there. Now I'm at range. I just created 17 meters of range between me and my target. You can use it to do that if you're trying to kite, okay, which is really good, or you can use it to close the gap on an enemy who's running from you, which I already did in PvP. There was a guy running away from me, and all I did was I turned around this way because it does teleport you backwards, right? So if you're facing this way, it's going to teleport you that way. Vice versa, if you're facing this way, it's going to teleport you that way. So if the enemy's over here, what I did is I turned and I did it twice. I did it once and then I did it twice. It got me close to the enemy, and then I shadow striked right to him because I was able to close the gap, and I killed him. So it can be used offensively and it can be used defensively depending on how you want to play and depending on the situation that you're in, which is why I really like Staff Dagger. It is very, it has very high utility. If you like something with utility, Staff Dagger is the play. Okay. The next skill here is Ice Spear. This is an ice skill that hurls a 1.5 meter width piercing ice spear to the target location, dealing damage equal to 360% of base damage plus 32, with an 80% chance to weaken the target, which decreases move speed by 51% for 3 seconds. So again, this is a very good skill to use if you're trying to get away, if you're trying to kite, or if you're just trying to hit a big Zerg that's pushing like a let's say they're pushing like a choke point, right? And it's like 10 guys coming through the choke point. If you're there at the choke point, you can hit them with it. You can just go like this and boom, there it is. You can throw it down the choke and it'll hit everyone and freeze everyone. So it's really good for CC. And I love using it even as a kiting thing. You know, something's chasing me, I'll hit this, go back, and then I'll throw it out right there. Obviously it's on cooldown, so I can't use it, but I would have thrown it out when when I've got distance from my target to slow, and then combo off of that. So that is a very cool skill there, which is Ice Spear. I've got it only +1. And then of course everyone knows Meteor. I'll put it on here. It's just a big AoE that comes down, and it's really nasty in Siege. It's really nasty in any kind of big PvP, and it also, like I said, puts that burning on the target, so you can do more DPS to the target because he's going to be burning from the Meteor. Now that's the Meteor there. I'm not going to talk about all these other skills because honestly I don't use them, but I'll just quickly cover what it is so you guys know. This is a mana regen. If you need to regen mana, you can use it. I'll just do it really quick here for the video. If you're low on mana, you pop it and your mana regens, and it quadruples when it's raining. So when it's raining, you regen even more mana. And then of course they got the freeze skill. I'll put it on here so you guys can see, but everyone should know what this looks like. Really cool skill to use in PvP. Boom, frozen. You can freeze a tank who's pushing you guys. You can freeze a healer, freeze targets as you will, and control the battlefield with your CC as a staff user there. Now, the next skill here is this skill, high locust. This is a really cool skill here. I'll throw it on here so you guys can see, but this can actually help you get away. What it does is it gives you increased cooldown speed 34% and movement speed by 22% for 12 seconds. And notice here I got Assassin Step, which I do use here, and the Assassin Step on defeating a target, mana regen 84 and movement speed 35% for 6 seconds. And then of course that is really good because after you use it, after you go invisible, or after you use the Assassin Step, your first skill that you use after coming out has no mana cost. So it's really good, and it synergizes. And one way you can use to get away is, let's say you're getting chased, right? You're getting chased right now, and you go and you kill a mob, right? So you're getting chased and there's mobs in front of you. You go like this, you go into the mob, you kill it really quick while you're getting chased, and oh well, he's frozen. I changed my skill zone, my skills. So you're going like that, and then you pop this, and then you're like, look how fast you are. Look at this. I'm zooming. Ain't no one chasing me. No one's gonna catch you if you do that. Look how fast you're going. So you can use your passive here with the assassin step, and then you can pop this to get that increased movement speed as well. Of course, it's very niche. You know, you're not always gonna have it up, both of them. You know, you're not always gonna have it up. But in the event that you do need to run from someone, if you do have it up, you can get away very quickly. So, you know, that's really cool. Your movement speed is just ridiculous on staff. Now, as far as the other skills that I use, of course, you guys know it's Shadow Strike. I use the Shadow Strike into my Brutal Incision, and then into Shadow Strike into Predatory Strike, and then into Brutal Incision, and then I take my Invis here, and this is kind of my PvP when I'm doing like small scale or medium-sized scale. This is the build that I use here. Now we'll talk about the passes really quickly, and then I'm going to get into the build that I'm going to show you guys. So I take the Assassin Step. I also take this Forbidden Sanctuary. It's going to give you a mana cost efficiency by 15%, and then your skill damage boost is increased to 130. So you're going to have less mana cost, right? You're going to be using more mana, burning more mana, but your skill damage boost is going to go up to 140, which I think is a really good trade-off if you're going DPS. And then I take this Echo Barrier here, which is when silenced, the silence duration decreases by 2 seconds. And if either silence, bind, or sleep is applied, the resistance for the applied effect increases by 440 for 9 seconds. And that can go all the way up to 640. So this is really good for PvP too, because you're going to be getting silenced. People, Greatsword Daggers are going to be going on top of you, shadow striking you, trying to silence you. This kind of gives you a little bit of survivability. The next skill that I have is Flame Condensation, and I max this out to +5 because it increases burning damage by 72% if used on a target that you have burned, and the heavy attack chance increases by 10 per burning stack. And then if you see there on Epic, it skills heavy attack chance is 10 per burning stack. So the more they're burning, the more chances you are of heavy attacking them. Okay, that's why I took that. And then, of course, I took Wrathful Edge because that's just going to give you a flat base critical damage increase, which is good. And then I did take this as well. This is for the mana regen. It gives me 56 mana regen, remaining still for 3 seconds, gives you more mana regen plus 112, and it increases your magic melee and range heavy attack by 100 just for having it on your skill bar. Lasts for 2 seconds after you move, and then using mobility skills will not end the effect. So I can still use that even if I'm doing Shadow Strike. And you mainly take this for the heavy attack. And then this here is an orb that attacks while you're doing your basic attacks. It says here shoots an additional magic orb that deals 150 of the base damage with a 5% chance with staves or wands, and then the chance increases 0.02 for every 1 mana regen. So the more mana regen you have, the more you're going to double attack with your staff pretty much. And then the final thing I take here is Shadow Walker, because after using a mobility or movement skill, which I do have a lot of mobility and movement skills, damage reduction is +14, and then magic and range evasion increases to 630 for 6 seconds. So after I go in with Shadow Strike, I have that range and magic evasion that's being buffed, so it makes it harder for people to hit me after I do that, which is why I use that. Now you could change out one of these skills and take the Frostmaster if you want to use the Frostmaster. It's going to give you more movement speed reduction effects. So if you hit someone with a slow with your ice, you're actually going to get, they're going to get an additional 5.5 less speed, and you're going to get an 11% more duration on your skill. So the ice skill is really cool because it's going to apply that frost effect too. So if you're building more of a frost type of thing, you could consider going Frostmaster. I don't use it, but sometimes I do sub it in and out. Now with all that being said, let's actually jump into the build real quick, because I want to give this to you guys and then I'm going to wrap the video up. This is my build that I built. Go ahead and stop the video right now. Take a screenshot, take a picture of it. This is my theory build craft that I built for this character. These are the base stats that you get. These are not 100% accurate because they don't consider your they don't consider a lot of the passives that you're getting. It doesn't consider your passives that you're getting on your skills, on your passives for your character, and it doesn't consider the stat points that you're getting from these items. So it's a rough estimate, but don't look at this too much. Just look at this. Go ahead and take a screenshot, pause your screen. This is what I'm going to be using. It's the I'm going to be using this staff here, which is the Toolbrick staff, Tobeck staff right there. It's going to have cooldown speed, hit, and heavy attack. With my secondary is the Thorny's Edge. I'm going to have hit, critical, and heavy attack on that as well. I'm going with the melee heavy attack duo set. So I'm going General Furies here on the top. And then that's going to have melee evasion on it, max health, and cooldown speed. And then I'm pairing it with the gloves here, which are also General Frenzies. Those are going to have melee evasion, max health, and attack speed as well. My top, I'm going with Miracle of Mother's Nature clothing. It's busted because it gives you heavy attack on it, plus 78 when you have it to plus 9. So I'm going to have magic heavy attack there. And then I'm putting melee evasion, magic evasion, and then buff duration on there. Pairing it also with the pants here, the Mother Nature pants as well. I'm going to be getting the melee evasion, the magic evasion, and max health on there as well. And then, of course, you got to get the Slaughter's collar. I think it's one of the best collars in the game. It's going to give you really good stats there. Max health, skill damage boost, and buff duration. And, of course, you take advantage of the +4, I believe, strength that it gives you at +9, which is solid. Because the more health you have, the more damage you do, and the more health, the more strength you have, the more damage you do, and the more health you're going to have. So it synergizes with everything. The ring I'm getting is a Transcendent Magic Ring +9. Really nice, gives you +3 to all stats, base stats. It's kind of like the Stone of Jordan from Diablo if you ever played that. I'm going to put mana regen on it, skill damage boost, and buff duration. On the belt, you're going with Tycans, also one of the best belts in the game, I think. It's very, you can use it on a lot of different characters. Going with max health on that, skill damage, resistance, and then debuff duration. On the secondary ring, I'm going with the the Insightful Ring of Dimension. It's a really good ring too. Going with max health on that one. I'm going with the skill damage boost +80 and buff duration there. And then on the bracers, we're going with the Spectre's Frost. Those are really good as well. You can get these all from a dungeon. Going with some more mana regen, skill damage, resistance, and debuff duration there. And then with the boots, I'm going with the Mother Nature boots there. Really good, solid boots. Magic evasion as well, max health, and I'm getting that +8 movement speed, which is really nice. And then, of course, the last thing is my cloak here, which is the Archpriest Devotion, which you can get from Cave of Destruction. Going with the +60 mana regen, 80 skill damage resistance, and debuff duration -6. That is the entire build, guys. I hope you liked the video. I hope it helps you guys out. Any questions, throw them in the comment section. If you like the video, smash the like button, let me know. And if you want to subscribe, you like the video, you like these type of videos, I'm still going to be doing a ton more videos in the future. I've got a bunch of videos lined up. All you got to do is subscribe, so please consider subscribing. Helps me out big time. Love you guys so much. Let me know if you guys like the video in the comment section if you guys have any questions. I'm out. Peace.